In this video, I want to cover what updates have been made to decision branches and the Get Help page within our ESS portal and catalog. And this is specifically added as part of version 4.4 of our ESS portal application. So to start with, we'll go to the decision branch table. And the first thing you'll see is it's organized a little differently. There's more of a tree view now to show from the parent level of these decision branches, what are the different child trees that fall underneath there, and child branches to click on. So you can start at the top level. The other thing you'll see on here is there's a new flag for active. So active flag for all the branches, and basically if a parent branch is inactive, all its children are considered inactive as well. So it inherits the inactivity from parent down to child. The form's also been cleaned up. You'll see in the past there was a number of different options in the middle of the page. Right now it's basically just asking for the decision branch as a name, a description to label, describe what that branch is. You'll see kind of where that's displayed in the Get Help page. And then the question to prompt the user to select this particular branch. I'll talk about this middle section in a moment, but the other key thing you'll notice is there used to be a number of attributes that were in the middle. These have all been moved to this new actions table. So the actions you'll kind of see is you have some new actions that are defined in here. By default, it'll prompt you to create an action for show a catalog item form. You'll also see an option to show a knowledge article on this decision branch. There's also an execute a knowledge query, which the interesting thing with this is that this can be associated with either a branch that's a solution, it's like a solution branch that I'm on the end of this tree and here's my solution, or it could also be a category or a choice along the way. And if you have this execute knowledge query, as soon as you choose, say, email related, it's going to run this query, show related knowledge articles on the far right of the Get Help page, which you'll see in a minute, as an option. The same applies for the show expert. So as soon as you associate a show expert with a branch, it'll show on the right, here's an expert you can chat with or schedule an appointment with as an option. There's also some options for redirecting outward or elsewhere. So one of my solutions could be, hey, there's an answer out here to another portal, another application. Right? I can redirect the user either outside or inside our application to specific places. There's also a redirect to a specific service portal page. So maybe we've got a service portal brochure or knowledge article or page that's got certain information that we want to share with the user. As soon as they go to a certain branch, we can redirect them to that particular page. So those are the actions. So the thing to note here as far as old to new is that there is on update, this should run, but if it doesn't run, there is a fixed script for basically performing this adjustment from the old structure to the new structure. So I see a fixed script out here called create update decision branch actions. This is going to run on install, but you can also run this fixed script directly. It's basically going to go through and look at the attributes of those decision branch records and then create the associated action record for those and then remove that attribute value that's in the source record to basically move to the new actions table. The other thing I want to highlight, if we go back to the decision branches quickly here, is the other structural update. So there's the active flag. The other way that a decision branch may or may not show up for a user is also there's a user criteria now section where you can associate any of these branches to user criteria. So you can actually have different questions for different sets of users. So maybe a user in North America might have a certain set of questions that I want to probe on and show certain solutions. Someone in Asia Pacific, maybe I have a different set of questions, right? So I can do that now with this user criteria delineation on my decision branches. And this can be done at the top level of those branches. Again, parent-child inheritance, so as soon as it's done at the top level, the child branches don't show up because the parent level is not available to the user. All right, so the other thing you're going to see front and center on this page is this new kind of tree editor kind of view in the middle of these decision branch records. And basically this is providing kind of a tree. So I can click in to say access issues. I'm going to be on that branch, right? I can go back to the parent branch, or I can open up other branches here and see, here's my set up new email account, here's my children on here. And it'll kind of also highlight over here the actions that are associated with you. So it gives me a chance to visually see kind of what's my decision tree, what are the different questions that are being asked, and then what are the different actions that are displayed. The other option I have is I can make edits directly here. I could say I want to add a child item to this, which is going to either say I want to have a new kind of question to navigate someone down the tree, or I can have a new solution, which is going to be a question that's ultimately going to present a knowledge article or an action or redirection kind of point. All right, so let's go ahead and let me go create a new one here. Go to the right place. I'll just call this one test. Say this is a test. This will be my parent one. I'm just going to put this towards the end of our tree. Right, I'll go ahead and add a new child branch. All right, so I've gone and created a couple different decision branch questions. Basically, one here is a test question, and then a child test question that comes underneath there. Now, I can do the same thing just through these tables. I could also have done this from a, let's go add a child here. Maybe I want to add a new question that says second child question. Go ahead and submit that. Right, and then on each of these items here, now I've got two different questions. I can also add another child item here. Maybe this is a new solution that says click to see form. I'll do a show catalog form, and then I'll just choose some sort of catalog item form I've got out here. Emergency change form as an example. All right, then I should have now a question that has a child branch, right, that has an action associated to it, right? So that's kind of that tree branch. So then I can also go maybe add to my second question here. I want to add another child to this, and maybe this is another solution. Show knowledge. I'll say click here to see knowledge article. All right, and in this case, I'll choose show knowledge article. And we will choose one of our knowledge articles here that's published, say getting around Windows as an example. Right, so now that I've done that, let's go to our portal. Let's go to our Get Help page. Let's go ahead and just clear my portal cache for a moment here. Go to the Get Help page, load new. Now here is our new test question, right? Child test question. Click here to see form. Now I'm on a form. All right, so same thing if I go back up. Second child question, click here to see a knowledge article. Now just to kind of add to this, right, so now I can go on any of these child branches here. So let's also add a action to our child branch here. And this action I want to add this time is a show expert. So I'm going to go add an expert here for service desk. Right, I'll also add another answer or question here to the second child question to also go run a knowledge query. Right, so this could just be, let's go show knowledge articles containing email, for example. I'm going to go ahead and just inactivate this just to highlight too, that if I inactivate, I'll refresh, start back over, you'll see it doesn't show up here if it's inactivated. If I reactivate, and I click back over, now our test question's here, right? And now when I select my second category here, notice the expert showed up. Notice it's also showing me knowledge articles. That's basically doing that knowledge filter out here on the right of how to show ones related to email as part of clicking that kind of branch within the tree. And again, it's going to inherit this, so it's going to also show this expert when I'm deeper down the branch, unless I have overriding actions. Now, another interesting thing you can do here, I'll go ahead and add a third child item here. Say third child question is, let's say on my third one I've got more than one action associated here. So I'll have a show catalog item. Maybe this is a ask a question form. So that's one. Let's also add another action here for maybe show another catalog item. Maybe this is my email, say new email account form. Right, maybe I've also got actions out here to show a knowledge article, just any and all knowledge articles. And just to add more to this, let's go add another knowledge article here, a different one here. And I'll also just show you can also add, say, these redirection points. So let's do it, maybe redirect to the service status page as an option. Right, so just save this to refresh it a little bit. So now you'll see I've got new actions in here to basically show multiple articles from redirect. So more than one solution for this kind of third point. Right, so now when I come back in here and I click on this guy, let's refresh for a second. Come back in here. See, now I've got a third child question. And when I click on this, because it's not one solution, that's giving me basically here's your particular item to go to. It's got multiple solutions for me. It's going to basically give me a list kind of by type that I can then click on and go to ask a question, or in the case of like a redirect, go to the service health page, right, to go see that information. All right, so that's how that kind of works. I guess last thing I want to highlight here, if we go add, say, one more kind of branch here, let's say, new solution, fourth child question. Let me just kind of show you how redirect works. If I did, say, redirect to another URL, let's go redirect out to google.com. Go ahead and pop this out to a separate window. And I'll say Google search is my title. Right, so just to refresh the page again, let's do that. And clear this, come back over. Now I've got a fourth child question. Notice when I click on that, it pops me out to Google. The thing I wanted to show here is what it does on this side. It basically has finished its process, has nothing to show. It'll highlight it's redirected to Google search, but now has kind of an OK come back. All right, so that covers kind of the new decision branch kind of setup. You can see it's a little easier to add different child branches, different questions, different solutions, package them together. The other thing I want to highlight here is there's some slight presentation differences on this page. There are no longer numbers on here, though. If you want the numbers back, there's an instance option for this. So see when I do this and I show progress step numbers, this will kind of present the way it did in our previous versions. I'll just start from the beginning here, where you have kind of numbers, and as you select the numbers, it's really just kind of keeping a progression. The difference being is if I go back and turn this show numbers back off, what you'll see here is it'll kind of take the numbers away, show kind of in a smaller text where you're at within the process and which selections have been made, and ultimately here's your solution that we found for you. So it presents a little differently in this circumstance. Last thing on here, the other widget options, you will see there is if you right click in here, there is an option to edit decision branches directly from here. This will basically take you to that, that branch you're currently on. So if you're kind of clicking through and you're wanting to say make a change to our new test question, if I'm on third child question, for example, and I want to edit this branch, I can come and edit decision branch, take me straight to that branch that I'm on, the actions that are here, I can make those edits. So that covers what I wanted to show you in terms of managing the decision branches, updates to the Get Help page, and kind of how that experience has been updated with version 4.4. Hope this was helpful. Thank you.